Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is the hungover June Liu. How you doing, June?
Still hungover. Too old for this shit now, man. Yeah.
So today we are talking about the Jenneff Session II Robusto. This is the true Robusto, 5 inches by 50 ring gauge. Comes out of the Liz Ash factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Mexican San Andres. Binder is from the Dominican Republic. Filler is Corojo, Criollo 98, and Nicaraguan. And this is blended by Consuelo Gomez. Price point on this cigar is $7.40, and it was released in July of 2016. So with all the cigar details out of the way, let's get into our experience. So June, what was your pre-light experience like?
Pre-light experience was good. I thought in terms of the wrapper shade, it was more on the Colorado red-ish side, especially when you hold it to the light, you can really see that red hue popping up. Um, Wrapper had a nice oily sheen to it, but it was a bit rustic in nature. But still good looking wrapper. I had one major vein that was protruding throughout the extent of the cigar. Seams for the most part were pretty well, it was fairly seamless and well applied. And There's a uniform give to the entire cigar. So kind of felt like, I shouldn't have any draw issues based upon not feeling the cigar with my fingers. In terms of the nosy experience, nosy the wrapper, rich, spicy cedar, dry red chilies. Nosy the foot, spicy dry red chilies and fresh cedar. Cold draw, dry cardboard, grassiness, like a dry grassiness, and fresh cedar. So overall, I rated it a good
Mhm.
pre-light experience.
Yeah, wrapper was a medium brown, a couple medium-sized veins that I was seeing. Seams were slightly visible, but they were smooth. There appeared to be two caps. Top cap wasn't applied all that neatly. The band is fairly simple, has the company name on it. There's no other really identifying marks on it to let you know what the line is. Colors are white, black, and gold. The aroma from the wrapper was a distinct barnyard, and the aroma from the foot was like a sweet hay and leather. And the pre-light draw was a mix of leather and spice, and there was a decent spiciness that I was getting on my lips as well from that. So getting in the flavor profile, first third to final third, what was your experience like?
Um, First third in general, in the profile in general for the cigar, it was a rather dry kind of profile. It was dominantly leather and black pepper forward. And it didn't take long for the black pepper to kind of be lodged toward the back of my throat.
Mhm.
And it started kind of irritating it. So surrounded with the leather and black pepper, I got, like a very generic sweet cream out of it. Inch in, a slight wood bitterness got introduced as well. Through the nose, there's an increased black pepper, but it was pretty intense, like a nose stinging kind of black pepper, dried nuts, spicy cedar. The finish was consisting of a throat irritating dried pepper, spicy cedar, body and strength is somewhere in between like medium full. So moving on to the second third, it was continuously that drying profile. Luckily, the black pepper kind of died down, and that allowed for especially like the wood bitterness and that generic sweet cream and leather to shine through. Through the retro, still the same nose stinging black pepper, dry nuts, spicy cedar. Finish is now is very long and lingering with dry wood bitterness and spicy cedar. Strength and body continue to be somewhere between the medium full range. Last third, still, it continually showed a dying of the black pepper. The profile is namely, leather and wood bitterness centric. Unfortunately, that once generic sweet cream that I tasted is less sweet. So, that provided the leather and that wood bitterness to shine even more because of it. The retro is unchanged. The spice was still very much so there, with that no stinging black pepper, dried nuts, and spicy cedar. The finish lost the spicy cedar character and now left me with a long lingering dry wood bitterness. Body and strength still within the first two thirds, somewhere in the medium full mark. So overall, a very dominant spice and wood and leather characteristics.
Mhm. Yeah, the cigar for me, it began with like a very full woodiness in that black pepper note. A quarter inch in, the woodiness and pepper were coming together a bit more, but that pepper was still really, really strong. The retrohale also had a strong pepper zing to it. And then about an inch in, the pepper reduced a little bit, but even a small decrease still left a big dose of pepper with that woodiness. Retrohale was a little bit smoother, but it was still dominantly pepper with wood in the background. And then as the third finished, it was still like a full pepper in front, and that woodiness was more in the background. And the strength was at medium full. And then getting into the second third, the pepper eased up a little bit more, kind of came into a better and even mix with the wood. The retrohale also gained a better mix of the pepper and the wood as well, but it was still a pretty full strength retrohale. At a half inch in, the wood becomes a bit greener. Had a little bit of brightness to it that was going along with the pepper. And then at an inch in, that wood, it lost that youngness to it, so it got back to that general woody note. And then the pepper eased off a little bit more, but it was still had a pretty decent finish to it. And as the third was coming to a close, the woodiness was the primary flavor, and the pepper had kind of moved into the background, and there was a little bit of cream that joined in as well. And the strength level had dropped down a little bit to just kind of be a little bit above medium. And then getting into the final third, primarily woody, a little bit of pepper and the cream in the background. There's also now a bit of a minty finish to it. And then a quarter inch in, the creaminess was increasing to go along with that wood, although pepper had really faded away at that point. And then at an inch in, that minty finish goes away, and the creamy wood is what was remaining. And that's pretty much how the cigar finished up for me, and the strength kind of stayed at that slightly above medium profile for me. Getting into performance, burn and draw, what was your experience like?
I had a really good construction. So starting with the burn first, really good burn. I smoked the Robusto at about an hour and 15 minutes, which sounds about right in terms of my review smoking rate. Burn line was really sharp, and I only had to use the lighter for a very small single minor touch up that happened at the last third, but it's not a big deal. Ashes held on tight, averaging 1 inch increments. The draw I thought was perfect. I used that new XO cutter from Zycar that we got for review, and very clean cut and it equal to a perfect amount of resistance and perfect draw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the burn was never really that sharp, but it always kind of kept up with itself, so I didn't need any touch-ups or anything like that. And just like you, ash held on in 1 inch in increments, so it was a good burn. The draw was a little tighter than I prefer, but nothing that took away from the smoking experience. Um, it it produced a ton of smoke on each draw, and when I would set the cigar down after each draw, there was a ton of smoke that was coming out of the head of the cigar, um, which is kind of interesting. It's you usually get a lot of smoke out of the foot, but just coming out of the head, there was still a ton of smoke coming out of it. So really nice draw to it. Just like I said, just slightly tighter than I prefer, but it was nothing to really say anything bad about there. Overall, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was kind of like the average, average Joe kind of a cigar. I felt like the cigar was either a little too, it was a bit rough around the edges for me. For the most part, I felt like it was either too spice dominant or it was too wood dominant. And I feel like, if the blend kind of still using those two characteristics, but will be more in balance together and play off each other better. And I think could be a better cigar. But I thought there was a little too much in those two areas of flavors and spikes.
Yeah, the pepper level in the first third was pretty off the charts, man. It was just like it kind of just hit you right up front. I was really glad that things kind of settled down into the second third and the kind of profile like evened out, so it wasn't so much in my face. But then the final third, the profile, like you said, it became pretty common, pretty average level. Um, I'd love to see what this cigar would do with an additional year of age on it, just to see if that kind of smooths out that pepper in that first third.
No,
See if it kind of gives you some more nuanced flavors there, because I think that pepper just really kind of just dominated everything and really just didn't give us the chance to see kind of what that blend could do. And it might make a more well-rounded cigar. Um, but for people that like that really large amount of pepper that's kind of in your face, I mean, this cigar might be a perfect match for them, because there are those guys that they just want that profile that just blows their face off.
no,
And this one might be that's something that's right up their alley. Newer smokers, no, stay away. You'll turn yourself off. But that's not saying that this is a bad cigar. It's just that it's not for that mild, even mild medium, or maybe just a medium smoker. It's you got to have a little bit of be able to take that face full of pepper in there. So just kind of know that going into it. But this is a decent introduction to the brand, and I'm very interested in trying some of the lines as well. Um, the people behind the cigar, they seem to be fantastic people. They're really got a passion for the cigars. So I'm definitely interested in trying some of the other lines. We have another one already lined up for review, so that's something I'm looking forward to. So like I said, I would definitely like to sit on one of these for a little over a year and kind of revisit it and see what that profile changes up to be. So getting into scores, we actually score this identically in regards to the overall point score. So both 5.87. The slight difference was I rated one of the thirds one level up higher than you did. And you kind of were a little bit higher than me on the burn and draw, but otherwise they created the same score overall. So how do you think your score matched up with your experience?
it matched up well. I overall rated the flavor profile and average cigar in the construction of the burn and draw really helped because I rated those very well. So yeah, 5 in that range tells me, quote unquote average cigar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based upon our 10-point scoring system. So yeah, it's in line with my expectations.
Yeah, same here. The second third for me was the best third. It provided something that I thought was interesting. So that's kind of where my score popped up. I had a little bit lower scores in regards to performance. Not really that big of a deal. It was just a slight difference from what Jiunn experienced. So, but overall, it's definitely, I think it's probably got an audience out there, that the people that like that full in your face strength and pepper level. So definitely something worth a try. And maybe a cigar that has some aging potential on it to see if that smooths out and becomes a little more well-rounded. Any other final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to relay some of the points that you made. I really enjoyed meeting Jeff of Jenneff, because I think the Jenneff name comes from a hybrid of him and his wife's name, right?
Right, right.
Like Jeff and Jennifer, if I remember right. Hence Jenneff. So, I really wish them the best. Excited to try the other things. This one didn't really do it quite well for me. But make no mistake, you will taste spice and wood in this cigar. So if you want to know what those taste like, smoke this one.
Right, exactly.
So,
Well, thank you for watching. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to visit our website, developingpalates.com, for the full written review, and subscribe to us on YouTube. But also follow us on all the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.